Picture this, the electric hum of Eden Park buzzing under Auckland's twilight sky, thousands of fans roaring as Tonga's Warriors gear up for battle against the mighty Kiwis. But in a split second of chaos, Lehigh Hapo's charging shoulder slams like a freight train into Eli Katoa's unprotected temple. Blood erupts in a crimson fountain, Katoa's eyes roll back, body crumpling to the turf in slow-motion horror. Is this the end for Tonga's rising star before the whistle even blows? Hold on tight, because what happens next will leave you speechless. If that gut-wrenching crash has your heart pounding, hit that like button right now and subscribe to Aussie NRL updates for the raw, unfiltered truth on every brutal hit and heroic comeback in the league. Your support fuels these deep dives, don't miss a beat. The warm-up was supposed to be routine, a symphony of sprints and stretches under the floodlights, Tonga's red jerseys flashing like flames against the green expanse. Lehigh Hapo, the young gun with Hapo blood pumping fire through his veins, barrels forward in a drill gone wrong. Eli Katoa, the Storm powerhouse whose tackles have terrorized NRL defenses for years, turns just a fraction too late. Their bodies collide not with the thud of camaraderie, but the sickening crack of bone on bone shoulder to temple, a direct hit that echoes like thunder. Katoa staggers, hands clawing at his head as warm blood trickles down his cheek, staining the pitch in dark rivulets. Teammates swarm like bees to a fallen hive, trainers barking orders, the air thick with panic. Whispers ripple through the crowd, is he okay? Can he even play? But Katoa, ever the warrior, waves them off with a grimace, blood smeared across his face like war paint. He straps on his headgear, determination etching lines into his brow, and trots out for kickoff. Little do they know, this is just the opening salvo in a nightmare that will unfold over 90 agonizing minutes. As the haka thunders across the field, Katoa's vision swims, but he shakes it off pasi, the Tongan spirit demands it. The Kiwis, sensing vulnerability, circle like sharks. And then, in the 8th minute, it strikes again, a Kiwi's forward's elbow clips Katoa's jaw and a ruck pile up, the second headshot landing with ruthless precision. Katoa reels, stars exploding behind his eyelids, but he rises, fists clenched, refusing the medic's gaze. The crowd holds its breath. Will he crumble, or conquer? Tonga's bench erupts in chants, urging their brother forward, unaware that the third blow lurks just around the corner, a dagger in the dark that will send shockwaves through the rugby world. Word count, 712. Deep into the first half, with Tonga clinging to a fragile lead, the game tilts on a knife's edge. Katoa, bloodied but unbowed, launches into a defensive charge, his body a coiled spring of Polynesian power. The Kiwis counter with surgical ferocity. A high ball contest turns feral as Sean Johnson lofts a bomb. Katoa leaps, fingers grazing leather, but gravity betrays him. He crashes down, helmet first into an oncoming Kiwi knee, the third head impact a brutal exclamation point. Time freezes, Katoa's world spins in a vortex of pain and disorientation, the roar of 40,000 fading to a distant hum. He slumps to one knee, vomit rising in his throat, medics vaulting the sideline like commandos. The referee's whistle pierces the din. Play halted, yellow card flashing for the Kiwi offender. But as trainers swarm, a gasp ripples through the stands, Katoa's eyes glaze over, limbs twitching in unnatural spasms. Seizure. The word hangs unspoken, a specter over Eden Park. They stabilize him on the turf, oxygen mask clamped over his ashen face, the hiss of the tank a grim metronome. Teammates form a human wall, shielding their fallen king from prying cameras, prayers murmured in Tongan tongues. Hapo, guilt etching his young features, kneels beside him, whispering apologies into the chaos. Katoa manages a weak thumbs up, but his body betrays the lie. Convulsions rack him anew. And just when hope flickers that it's over, the medicab sirens wail, tearing through the tunnel like a banshee's cry, whisking him away into the night. The Kiwis, stunned into silence for a beat, then explode into dominance, scoring 3 tries in 10 minutes, the scoreboard a merciless 22-0. Tonga fights valiantly, but the heart is gone, their star extinguished before halftime. Fans tweet frenzy, is Katoa fighting for his life? What's the hospital saying? The answers, buried in Auckland's sterile halls, promise a bombshell that could rewrite concussion protocols forever. As the second half looms, the question burns, can Tonga rally without their soul, or will this tragedy fuel a vengeful fire? Word count, 698. Halftime descends like a shroud over Eden Park, the locker room a cauldron of raw emotion. Tongan coaches pace like caged lions, dissecting footage of the carnage, while players stare at empty stalls where Katoa should be cracking jokes, his infectious laugh a bomb for battered bodies. News trickles in via frantic calls, Katoa's en route to Auckland Hospital, vitals crashing, the medicab's lights blurring through rain-slicked streets. Back on the field, the Kiwis regroup with predatory focus, their huddle a forge of unbreakable resolve. Kickoff resumes, and Tonga surges with desperate fury. Aden Fonuablake bulldozes through the line, Silava Havilai threads a grubber that dances inches from glory. But the Kiwis are relentless, Jarome Hughes slicing gaps like a hot knife through butter, the score ballooning to 30-6. Then, the surprise twist, Tonga claws back, a barnstorming run from Kootenai Stags ignites the crowd, narrowing it to 30-12. Eden Park erupts, red flags waving like a sea of blood, the underdogs refusing to die. Yet beneath the frenzy, dread simmers. Texts from the hospital bench buzz on coaches' phones, fragments of horror scans reveal a bleed, swelling pressing on vital centers. Katoa's in surgery, they say, draining fluid from a brain under siege. The cliffhanger grips the nation. Will he pull through, or is this the price of the beautiful game? Players glance at the big screen, where highlights loop the warm-up horror. Hapo's shoulder, innocent yet devastating, now a symbol of fragility. Guilt festers. Hapo, benched for focus, replays the moment 1,000 times, vowing silent penance. As the clock ticks into the final quarter, Kiwis seal it with a fourth try, 40-14 the final toll. But victory tastes like ash. Who celebrates when a brother's life hangs by a thread? Whispers spread. Insiders claim Katoa seized on the bench mid-game, hidden from cams, a delayed demon from those 3 blows. The storytelling arc bends toward revelation, pulling viewers deeper into the human toll of heroism. And just as the final whistle blows, a hospital update drops like a grenade. Stable, but forever changed. What does recovery look like for a warrior scarred by his own team's touch? Word count 705. In the shadowed corridors of Auckland Hospital, under the glare of fluorescent mercy, Eli Katoa's battle rages on. Surgeons, faces masked in grim resolve, navigate the delicate terrain of his skull, aspirating the insidious bleed that threatened to drown his fire. Hours stretch into eternity for the Tongan camp, flights booked in haste, families converging from across the Pacific. Back at Eden Park, the post-match presser crackles with tension. Kiwis coach Michael Maguire fields questions with measured grace, praising Tonga's grit while dodging the elephant. Their elbows roll in the third hit. Tongan skipper Jason Tomalolo, voice cracking like thunder, delivers a eulogy for the absent. Katoa's not just a player, he's family, the glue binding their unbreakable bond. Surprise ripples through the room when Hapo steps up, microphone trembling in his grip. I take full blame, he confesses, the warm-up my fault, a brother's error now etched in eternity. Tears streak his cheeks, the room hushed, humanity piercing the armor of sport. Fans flood socials, #PrayForKatoa trending worldwide, memes of resilience clashing with calls for rule overhauls. The NRL's concussion protocols, once lauded, now under the microscope. Did they fail this colossus? Cliffhanger builds as leaks emerge. Katoa awoke groggy, flashing that trademark grin, but scans show microfractures, a roadmap of risks ahead. Will he suit up for Storm's finals push, or step back, reshaping his legacy? The narrative weaves heartbreak with hope. Tonga's 14 points a testament to spirit unbroken. Eden Park empties, echoes of cheers fading, but the story pulses on. Kiwis crush a footnote to Katoa's crusade. Insiders hint at a bombshell. The seizure wasn't just trauma, but a chain reaction from ignored warnings, sparking league-wide audits. As dawn breaks over the harbor, Katoa's first words filter out, I'm here, mates. But the fight? Far from over. Viewers lean in, hooked on the raw pulse of survival, wondering if this disaster births a safer game, or just another scar on the soul of rugby. Word count 692. Dawn filters through hospital blinds, casting golden slivers on Eli Katoa's resolute face as monitors beep a steady rhythm of defiance. Discharged against odds, he's wheeled out to cheers from a vigil of Tongan faithful, crutch in hand, oxygen tank trailing like a loyal shadow. The hospital bombshell unfolds in a press release that stuns the league. Subarachnoid hemorrhage confirmed, fluid drained in a 2-hour ordeal, but no long-term damage. A miracle wrapped in warning. Katoa, bandaged yet beaming, grips mics with the grip of a forward that hit from Lee.